Don't start talking. Oh, it starts recording.
It's recording.
Oh. Okay. Alright. Jim Hawkins. He is like the main character, and he is the character to save everyone that is like innocent on the boat. He has a huge problem that he has to face, and he ends up having to save, like, he's in charge of saving everybody, pretty much.
There's Long John Silver, and he's the old pirate that seems honest, like, towards the little boy, but later on you find out that he's not so honest. And this is the first time that you meet him in this chapter, so he changes from the beginning of the chapter from the end.
Next is Tom Redruth. He's a grouchy man who takes care of Jim Hawkins, and he's also, like, introduced in this part.
Blandly, he is the owner of the Hispaniola. And he's the one that gave the boat to Trelawney. And he's an old friend of John Trelawney. He isn't the most loved by all the people, and he's really hard to trust, so something's kind of fishy.
And then there's Squire Trelawney, and he hasn't changed at all. He's still arrogant, and he can't keep his mouth shut. There's a slight change there at the end when he admits that he was wrong, but that's just about it.
Morgan is also introduced in this chapter part. And, he's like one of the bad, I guess you could say bad pirates who talk to Black Dog about being bad.
Captain Smollett, he's the captain of the ship, and the pirates and everyone don't like him because he says he doesn't like the reasons that they're on the cruise, and he doesn't like the crew and he doesn't trust them. And at the end of part 2, he proves to be like dead on with what he's like saying, because they end up trying to like kill them, or they want to kill them. So he's dead on. So everybody should have listened to him.
Then there's Mr. Arrow, and you first meet him in this chapter, but he's supposed to control the crew, but he doesn't actually do anything with them. He just stays drunk all the time, and he never does the work that he's supposed to do, and then eventually he dies because he was drunk. So don't drink and walk on a ship.
Bad idea.
Especially when you're close to the edge.
Yeah.
Israel, he tries to persuade the new pirates to be on Long John Silver's side of things. I'm talking about
the quote I liked was on page 69. It was in chapter 10. It said, "You can't touch pitch and not be mucked," and that means that to stay clean or to be in good behavior, because getting mixed in with the wrong crowd can create difficult situations in the future. Silver is pretty much warning him that, like, guilty by association. Just kind of talking about that.
The quote that I chose was, "I think if I had been able, that I would have killed him through the barrel." The reason why I like this is because this is the first time that Jim understands that you can't trust everybody, and he's starting to become a man, and he thought he could trust him, and Long John Silver went behind his back, and he is starting to feel rage for him. He understands he doesn't need to follow in his footsteps.
Mm-hmm. My quote is, "I'm not a boasting man, and you've seen yourself how easy I keep company. But when I was quartermaster, lambs wasn't the word for Flint's old buccaneers." This is saying, like, things were a lot worse. Like, the Flint's pirate, I guess you could say, they weren't the nicest people.
Okay. Foreshadowing. Okay. When Captain Smollett was saying he didn't like the crews, he didn't like the men, and he didn't like the officers. This foreshadows events to come involving the bad pirates and the innocent victims. The truth comes out eventually.
Yes. That's just about it.
Yep. Well, part 2's good.
Bye.